Grimsley's croaking feast, the haunting of the frog-eating clown, the past. In a small, secluded town nestled deep within the woods, there existed a peculiar legend that sent shivers down the spines of locals for generations. The tale spoke of a clown named Grimsley, who wore a hauntingly sinister smile painted across his ghostly white face. His once colourful outfit had faded to a murky, tattered mess, resembling a nightmarish collage of patchwork fabric. Whispers in the town claimed that Grimsley's hunger for the bizarre led him to dine on a peculiar delicacy, frogs, not just any frogs, but the ones inhabiting the murky pond at the edge of the forest, where croaks echoed eerily into the night. It was said that the sound of those croaks intensified whenever Grimsley prowled nearby. As the dusky veil draped over the town, an atmosphere of palpable tension entrenched itself within the villagers' hearts. Generations ago, their forebears whispered of an unsettling history, one clouded in inexplicable darkness that lingered beneath the soil and within the shadows of their secluded haven. Whispers passed down through the ages spoke of a time when the woods surrounding the town were not just home to eerie legends, but also harbored a sordid past. Stories hinted at a long-forgotten ritual conducted by a secret sect that dwelled deep within the forest. These clandestine figures, shrouded in mystery and cloaked in dark robes, were believed to have delved into forbidden arts, invoking entities from realms unknown. Legends whispered that sacrifices were made under the moon's crimson gaze, and echoes of unsettling chants resonated through the rustling leaves. The townsfolk, in fearful reverence, sought to bury these tales beneath layers of secrecy, hoping to shield future generations from the chilling legacy that clung to their homeland. However, the past, as it often does, refused to remain buried. The disappearances of beloved pets and, more alarmingly, of some townspeople, resurrected dormant fears. Shadows danced at the edge of torchlight, and whispers carried on the night breeze, recounting chilling encounters with phantom figures and the eerie sensation of being watched from unseen corners. Doors were bolted with a fervour born of ancient superstitions, and windows were sealed tight against the encroaching darkness. Parents wove cautionary tales, warning their children to avoid straying too far into the woods, where the past seemed to meld with the present in an unholy union of sinister forces. Despite their efforts to quell the rising unease, an unspoken dread lingered in the air, a feeling that something malevolent stirred in the forgotten depths of the forest. The town's history, a tapestry woven with threads of fear and obscure truths, seemed poised to unravel, revealing horrors long suppressed and a darkness yearning to break free once more. The curiosity. Tommy, a young boy with an insatiable curiosity, had grown up listening to the hushed whispers of the town's unsettling history, fascinated by the eerie legends that painted the woods as a canvas of lurking horrors. He found himself both drawn to and repelled by the tales of Grimsley and the sinister pond. Despite the warnings echoing through his mind, a persistent yearning to uncover the truth gnawed at Tommy's thoughts. His nights were restless, plagued by dreams of enigmatic shadows and haunting melodies that seemed to beckon from the forest's depths. One moonless night, a convergence of courage and curiosity propelled Tommy to venture beyond the safety of his home, armed with nothing more than a flashlight and his unyielding determination to unravel the mysteries cloaked within the woods. He set foot on the overgrown path leading toward the infamous and forbidding pond. As he approached the murky waters, the croaking intensified, resonating like an ominous warning. Tommy's heart pounded against his rib cage, but a strange fascination urged him forward. Suddenly, a haunting melody drifted through the night air, a dissonant tune echoing from the darkness. Frozen in fear, Tommy shone his light toward the source, revealing a figure emerging from the shadows. Grimsley, the clown. His ghastly makeup accentuated his twisted grin, and in his hand he held a bucket squirming with frogs. Grimsley's voice, dripping with an otherworldly allure, seemed to slither through the air like an icy caress, sending shivers down Tommy's spine. His sinister grin widened, revealing rows of pointed teeth that gleamed in the faint moonlight filtering through the trees. Curiosity, such a delightful flavor, Grimsley purred, his eyes glinting with an unsettling glimmer. You long to uncover the secrets veiled in these woods, don't you, dear child? Tommy, paralyzed by a mix of fear and morbid fascination, stuttered. I didn't mean to intrude. I'll leave. I promise. Grimsley's laughter echoed eerily, the sound reverberating through the clearing. But you've stumbled upon something rare, a spectacle not meant for mortal eyes. How about a glimpse into the unknown, a taste of the arcane wonders concealed within? His voice, an intoxicating melody that both enticed and repulsed, wove through Tommy's thoughts like a hypnotic spell. The boy's breath caught in his throat as he struggled against the growing compulsion to heed Grimsley's unnerving invitation. Join me in my revelry, Grimsley coaxed, his voice a siren's call wrapped in a sinister charm. Embrace the darkness, and you'll uncover truths that mortals dare not dream of. Tommy's mind whirled with conflicting emotions, the allure of forbidden knowledge warring against the instinct to flee. Every fibre of his being screamed warnings, yet a tantalizing curiosity anchored him in place, teetering on the precipice between terror and fascination. Trembling, Tommy attempted to retreat, but his foot snagged on a root, sending him crashing to the ground. With a predatory grace, Grimsley loomed closer, his eyes fixated on the boy. As Grimsley extended a hand, grotesque and elongated fingers curling like talons, Tommy scrambled backward, the flashlight flickering in panic. The croaks grew louder, an eerie chorus enveloping the clearing, their haunting resonance amplifying the tense atmosphere. Fumbling for a foothold on the uneven ground, Tommy's back met a sturdy oak tree. His breaths came in short, erratic gasps as he realized escape seemed futile. Grimsley loomed closer, his spectral form merging with the shadows, casting an ominous silhouette against the dimly lit backdrop. A guttural chuckle emanated from the clown, his eyes gleaming with a peculiar mix of malice and a hidden kind of glee. The dance of fear and fascination, Grimsley mused, his voice dripping with macabre amusement. How it delights me, this fragile human curiosity. Tommy's heart pounded against his ribs, his mind racing in a frantic search for an escape route, yet held captive by the allure of the unknown lurking behind Grimsley's unnerving presence. The chorus of croaks crescendoed, echoing an ancient warning that seemed to ripple through the very fabric of the night. The air crackled with an eerie energy, thick with an impending sense of foreboding. Caught between the hypnotic pour of Grimsley's enigmatic invitation and the primal instinct to flee, Tommy teetered on the precipice of a revelation that threatened to plunge him into a world far beyond his imagination. Unexpected friend, summoning every ounce of courage, Tommy bolted, racing through the tangled woods. Branches clawed at his skin, and the darkness threatened to swallow him whole. Behind him, he could hear the haunting laughter of Grimsley echoing through the night. In the distance, A dilapidated structure emerged from the looming shadows, a decrepit, abandoned house standing in eerie solitude. Tommy, driven by instinct, dashed toward it, his breaths ragged and frantic. The wooden door creaked open with an ominous groan as he slipped inside, seeking shelter in the murky depths of the forsaken dwelling. The interior was cloaked in darkness, save for the faint glimmers of moonlight sneaking through shattered windows. A musty odor hung heavy in the air, and the silence within the abandoned house felt oppressive. As Tommy tiptoed further into the dimness, his eyes fell upon a pair of gleaming orbs, a hideous cat with matted fur and jagged scars adorning its mangy coat. Initially startled by the feline's presence, Tommy noticed a peculiar intelligence gleaming in its eyes. With a hesitant yet desperate plea in his gaze, he gestured for the cat to remain silent. Surprisingly, the cat seemed to understand. Nodding slightly as if acknowledging the unspoken agreement, footsteps echoed ominously from outside, and the creaking floorboards betrayed Tommy's location. With a surge of panic, he dove behind a tattered sofa, his heart pounding against his chest as he tried to stifle his heavy breathing. The door screeched open, and Grimsley's haunting silhouette filled the doorway, his sinister grin casting elongated shadows across the room. The cat, positioned strategically, distracted Grimsley by darting across the room, emitting a series of loud hisses. Seizing the momentary diversion, Tommy seized the opportunity to slip further into the shadows. Inching toward a hidden corridor, Grimsley, momentarily fixated on the commotion caused by the cat, failed to notice Tommy's stealthy escape. Heart-pounding, Tommy crept through the narrow passage, guided only by faint moonbeams trickling through cracks in the walls. The echoes of Grimsley's laughter reverberated through the desolate corridors, spurring Tommy to press on, driven by the fervent hope of eluding the malevolent clown's grasp. Tommy navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the abandoned house, his breath shallow and labored. As he ventured deeper into the darkness, the ghastly echoes of Grimsley's laughter faded into the distance. In a secluded corner, he found the mangy cat awaiting him, its eyes glinting with a strange intensity, surrounded by the eerie silence of the decaying walls. Tommy whispered, "Thank you, you saved me back there." The cat's gravelly voice resonated softly in the desolate space. "Not out of kindness, child. I detest that fiend as much as you." Tommy's eyebrows furrowed in surprise. "You speak." "I do more than that," the cat replied cryptically. "I am a watcher, attuned to the secrets that whisper through these walls." Curiosity mingled with apprehension in Tommy's gaze. "What secrets?" "The echoes of bygone rituals, the whispers of ancient shadows," the cat murmured. "This house holds memories stained with fear and secrets buried in its very foundation." A shiver raced down Tommy's spine. "Can you help me get out of here, away from Grimsley?" The cat's eyes gleamed with a faint glimmer of camaraderie. "I can guide you, but beware the depths of this darkness. Secrets often come at a cost." With a cautious nod, Tommy followed the cat as it slinked through hidden passages and forgotten corridors, navigating the decrepit house with an uncanny familiarity. Moonlight filtered through shattered windows, casting ethereal patterns on the crumbling walls. As they approached a concealed exit, the cat paused, fixing Tommy with an inscrutable gaze. "Remember, child, curiosity can be both a blessing and a curse. Choose your path wisely." Tommy nodded gratefully, his heart heavy with the weight of the unknown that lay beyond. With the cat's silent guidance, he slipped through the concealed exit, leaving behind the suffocating darkness of the abandoned house. The cool night air greeted him, carrying a sense of fleeting freedom. Determined to evade Grimsley's clutches, Tommy set forth, guided by the cryptic advice and the unsettling revelations shared by the enigmatic fear, back to the safe place, or not line, companion. Gasping for air, Tommy burst into the safety of the town, his breaths ragged and terrified. His frantic footsteps echoed through the silent streets, each pounding step reverberating with the weight of his harrowing encounter. The townsfolk, gathered in clusters beneath dimly lit street lamps, turned their heads at the sudden commotion. Whispers ceased, replaced by a tense silence that enveloped the night air. With trembling hands and a voice quivering with fear, Tommy stumbled toward the gathering, his eyes wide with terror. He's out there, Grimsley, the clown. He's real. A wave of unease swept through the crowd, whispers resurging with heightened urgency. Concern etched deep lines on the faces of the villagers as they exchanged wary glances, their previous skepticism eroded by the sheer terror etched into Tommy's features. He's in the woods, waiting. He's not just a legend. Tommy's voice cracked, pleading for the townsfolk to heed his warning. An elder stepped forward, his voice heavy with disbelief. "Tommy, calm yourself. You've let the tears get the better of you. There's no Grimsley, just a story to keep children from wandering into the woods." But Tommy's eyes pleaded for understanding, his terror palpable. "Please, you have to believe me. I saw him. He's real. The house, the cat, everything." The pregnant silence lingered, tension mounting in the air as the townsfolk exchanged hesitant glances. Grappling with the vastity of Tommy's claims, the night seemed to hold its breath, a collective fear gripping the hearts of those gathered. Just as doubt began to seep into their thoughts, a distant sound echoed through the silence, a haunting melody carried on the wind, the mournful notes dancing on the edges of perception. The haunting melody of Grimsley's presence lingered on the fringes of their reality, its chilling resonance sending shivers down their spines. The once peaceful town square felt charged with an unspoken dread, the echoes of Tommy's warning refusing to dissipate. As the eerie notes continued to weave through the night, a collective unease settled among the townsfolk, their gazes darting nervously toward the darkened woods that bordered their sanctuary. Whispers of doubt faded into the background, replaced by an ominous anticipation that hung thick in the air. A sudden rustle from the edge of the forest sent a ripple of fear through the crowd. Eyes widened, hearts raced, and the air grew heavy with an indescribable tension. Shadows danced along the tree line, teasing the boundary between reality and the unknown. A flicker of movement emerged from the darkness, a ghostly figure clad in tattered, multicolored fabric. Grimsley, the clown of legend, materialized at the forest's edge, his painted visage illuminated by the pale moonlight. A collective gasp echoed through the crowd, the villagers froze. Then in horrified fascination, Grimsley's sinister grin widened as he cast an unhurried gaze upon the trembling onlookers, relishing the fear that radiated from their quivering forms. "You've heeded the call of curiosity." Grimsley's voice cut through the stillness, resonating with an otherworldly cadence. "Welcome, dear townsfolk, to a night of revelry." A wave of panic swept through the assembly, some scrambling to retreat indoors while others remained rooted to the spot, paralyzed by a mix of terror and morbid curiosity. Grimsley's presence exuded an irresistible allure and a palpable threat, trapping the townsfolk in a nightmarish limbo between fascination and horror. The haunting melody intensified, its dissonant notes weaving a hypnotic spell that seemed to ensnare the very essence of the town. With a chilling laugh that echoed into the night, Grimsley stepped back into the shadows, his form dissolving into the depths of the foreboding woods. Left in a state of disquieting uncertainty, the townsfolk exchanged wide-eyed glances, a realization dawning that their once safe haven had become ensnared in the grip of an ancient darkness, one that had awoken from its slumber, heralding a night fraught with terror and the tantalizing allure of the unknown. As Grimsley dissolved into the shadows, a disquieting silence blanketed the town square. The townsfolk, gripped by fear and uncertainty, found themselves trapped between the haunting melodies of an enigmatic clown and the safety of their homes. In the midst of the eerie calm, a whisper swept through the air, carrying Grimsley's haunting parting words in the dance between fear and curiosity. I am the conductor of your darkest desires. Those haunting words lingered in the minds of the townsfolk, a chilling reminder of the night when their tranquil haven collided with the inexplicable, and as they retreated to the safety of their homes, they knew that Grimsley's ominous presence would forever taint the edges of their reality, leaving behind a lingering question: would they succumb to the allure of the unknown or shun it in terror, forever haunted by the echoes of that ominous night? The end.